When we turn the light switch on and off, how many of us really know where our power comes from?
Yeah, the answer is not always 100% clear, but what we do know is this: more and more of our energy comes from the wind.
Stephanie Sierra spent time looking into the impact wind farms are having here in Colorado and whether or not they are cost effective for consumers. It's a story you'll only see here.
We begin tonight 40 miles northeast of Colorado Springs. I recently did a road trip and crossed through this area amazed by the sheer volume of wind farms. Whether you call them wind turbines or wind turbines, both ways are correct, and they're popping up all over the state. And we wanted to know, are Colorado consumers getting a good deal?
If you haven't visited northeastern Colorado in a while, you'll be stunned at what you see. The vista of Colorado farmland has changed dramatically. You can see the difference most clearly from our SkyTracker 13 drone. This video capturing the hundreds of wind turbines spanning across 10 counties on the northeast edge of the state.
They are quite an amazing feat.
Susan Burrows is one of many homeowners in eastern El Paso County that has turbines on her property.
I think they're so beautiful because they are a wonder, you know, that most people don't ever get to see.
While they're a beauty in her eyes, they're a scar to others like Tyler Kane.
I'm just not a huge fan of the way they take from the landscape. It just kind of takes away from the scenic skyline views and stuff. So I just don't really, not a fan, and all the traffic.
All that traffic is mainly from construction or maintenance crews coming in to build wind farm after wind farm. There's a total of 25 of them in the state. With nearly 2,000 individual turbines, that number only expected to grow. Driving northeast on Highway 24, you'll start to see the turbines disappear into the skyline. You may wonder how much one costs. On average, anywhere between $1 and $2 million. A big price for a big machine. So how are they working out for us consumers?
The idea of windmills was brought here by early European settlers.
Years ago, wind power was seen as the future of everything. Where is that prediction now? What are the costs and what are the benefits? Aaron Benjamin, the general manager of energy supplies with Colorado Springs Utilities, thinks wind power is working well.
The first generation of wind farms, they look very clunky and very inefficient.
But now,
the current technology of wind farms are extremely sophisticated. You know, they have great capabilities of redirecting themselves.
When you look at these wind turbines from afar, they don't seem as massive until you're up close. From the ground to the top, most are close to 300 feet tall, with the blades around 180 feet long.
As the size has slimmed out over the years, so has the price. The dramatic decrease is good news for the hundreds of thousands of ratepayers across the state. But the question still remains, is wind cheaper than its big competitor, coal? According to new data from the investment research firm Lazard, the answer is yes. Take a look at this graph illustrating the average cost of wind per megawatt hour is $30 to $60. Whereas the average cost of coal per megawatt hour is $60 to $143. But the problem is, that's just the generation cost, not including the cost getting to your home. Plus, we have to factor in wind isn't always reliable.
I hear people saying, you know, we're going to be 100% renewable energy. I don't really believe that.
Jan is the owner of Cocos Farms in eastern Colorado. Her property being a prime example of farms strategically placed in windy areas that don't always see consistent wind.
And the patterns change seasonally, they change during the day. So you'd have to look at any particular season or any particular day about when the winds blow.
Which is why the future of energy isn't going to result in just one simple solution.
And during beautiful day like this, solar will be generating at the peak efficiency when wind could be at zero.
Because as our drone shows us, the physics of the weather require us to prepare for days when the wind isn't blowing. So how do we store this energy for when we actually need it? That problem remains unsolved, which means our future will likely be one full of choices, where our society will have to choose.
The bigger issue for solar and wind is how we can store it for when we actually need it. The future there is massive battery farms, which are already being experimented here and in other parts of the world. Reporting in the studio, Stephanie Sierra, KRDO News Channel 13.